Good evening, everyone. We'll begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted us while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka ama harani kamuzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sume miyoya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himuka no tachi hana no. Odo no ahagi harani. Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono o kami tachi. Moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegareo. Harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshio. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami ao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni. Ame no fuji koma no mimi furi tatete. Kikoshi meseto kashi komi momaosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity are reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated for group Johrei. Legal, Meishu-sama, bless you. Today's teaching is entitled Truth, Virtue, and Beauty. It's from Daily Inspirations, page 32. Only deeds of love can bring forth a world completely filled with truth, virtue, and beauty. Paradise on earth will be a world of beauty, a place where the inner hearts of all its inhabitants are just as beautiful. One whose thoughts, words, and deeds are always pure, always beautiful, can surely be considered one who lives in paradise. God's purpose is to create an ideal world where truth, virtue, and beauty reign. Needless to say, the dark forces foster falsehood, vice, and ugliness. Beauty is necessary to the soul, as it brings joy and a sense of wholeness not only to yourself, but to all who come in contact with it. Can be called a kind of virtue. The higher civilization is, the more conscious it should be of the value of and the need for beauty. It is essential that everyone cultivate a greater sense of aesthetic values. By so doing, not only individuals, but nations as a whole will benefit, making beauty and its expressions in the various phases of life. One of a person's main goals is a contribution of immeasurable value toward the betterment of a society, which will certainly serve as a means of furthering the realization of paradise on earth. Beautiful environments make for beautiful thoughts, helping to place a person's mind on a higher plane. This in turn reduces crime and other negative actions in society. It must be realized that any teaching that aims at high ideals should maintain an awareness of beauty. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. This evening, I want to share with you this faith experience from Emilia Mutango Kasanga. She's from the Morro Bento in Luanda, Angola. Emilia has been a Johrei member for 10 years and she gives service as a missionary within the women's group. The faith experience that she would like to share with us is related to donations towards the construction of the future sacred grounds of Africa in the name of her ancestral lineages. One day, while at the Johrei Center, she heard when the minister emphasized the importance of establishing the ancestors' lineages in the future sacred grounds of Kakwaku through donations, and the importance of receiving Kanon's picture. After listening to the guidance, she made the decision to materialize her donation, but her first concern was actually to buy construction materials to finish a concrete fence in her backyard. Thus, she only did half of the donation, that is 50%, even though she had the possibility of making the donation in full. After a week, she asked the minister to join her in prayer in order to complete the other 50%. This time, without thinking about the difficulty of completing her fence or a possible food shortage for her family. After she materialized the donation, she felt a great relief and stripped of all any worries. Later, back at home at around 11 p.m., she heard a car horn, as she recognized being her brother's car horn. She went out to answer the door. Her brother, on a surprise visit, brought her bread and gave her food stamps. She didn't understand why he was doing that. Yet she thanked him for his kind gesture. After he left, she went inside, opened the envelope, and decided to check the food stamps amount. To her amazement, the value was in the envelope was exactly what she had materialized as a donation for the construction fund. Regarding the concern she had with the fence in her backyard, as she had some construction materials at her home, all that was needed was blocks and cement. The next day, when it was 6 o'clock in the morning, she heard someone knocking on her door. As her daughters were still sleeping, she went to answer it. When she opened it, she noticed that it was the contractors who had previously done work at her home. She asked why their visit so early, since she hadn't asked for them yet. They replied that they had come at her brother's request. They asked her for a pencil and a notebook, saying that her brother had sent them to survey the materials needed for the fence. Hearing that, she was somehow at lost and asked them again about the reason for the visit because she didn't understand their explanation and wanted to confirm once again what was happening at that moment. They gave the same explanation as before. In short, Emilia realized once again that there was an action from the spiritual realm, utilizing her brother for the expenses of her fence, as he supplied both the materials that were missing and the laborers for the contractor. Emilia expressed her heartfelt gratitude donation for another blessing received and kept organizing the materials needed for the fence construction to begin. From this experience, she learned that if one's suffering is due to self-centeredness and attachment. She also learned that the donation for the construction of the sacred grounds elevates our ancestors, thus providing happiness for us descendants. Emily is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for allowing her to be introduced to this wonderful path of salvation. Thank you very much for listening to this faith experience, for attending this evening service. If you have been affected by this northeastern snowstorm, and I wish you please be safe and wish a blessed weekend, warm weekend. With this concludes our evening service. Thank you very much.